Three in the Hampshire Suburbs, Morrill, Plummer, and Prescott. Politicking with Mr. B. You want it, you got it. Whether you want it or not, I'm here. And so tune in, grab a seat, sit down, and get ready to go into launch mode because we've got one hell of a show for you folks tonight. We got a lot of things we're discussing, all the things from the approval hearings that they're having about Trump's cabinet to things that are going on with rounding up people, whatever else. But before we get into anything else, Mr. Blazeman, my wonderful engineer in the background, has the flag. Run up the colors, please. We got to get this show on the road. All right. Well, we're a little bit tucked up over here. We'll hold on to that. We'll just go ahead and salute the flag we've got behind us here. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God.
I pledge allegiance
indivisible,
to the flag,
with liberty and justice for all. And when I say justice for all, I mean every single person that is here in the United States, whether you were born here or a naturalized citizen or you're here legally, you are entitled to the blessings of justice that we have here as long as you are here legally. If you are here against the law, you are a criminal. Go out. It isn't fair that you are here, taking up place, taking up resources for the people that work and earn and are entitled to them. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are an illegal alien, leave, or you're going to be taken out, and we will go into that a little bit further. But before we go into any of the rest of that sort of stuff, ladies and gentlemen, we are seeing the approval hearings or the things that they're having for the members of Trump's cabinet. And today what came up was Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., for those of you who may not know, was the son of the fellow who was his statesman. He was the brother of John F. Kennedy, the president of the United States that was murdered. And Kennedy himself was murdered as well. He was the Attorney General for the United States, and he was going to be running for the presidency and so forth when somebody ran up behind him and capped him in the head. Boom, dead. Another one. And so Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is up for a cabinet position, and his sister, the daughter of slain President John F. Kennedy, herself with more wrinkles than the foreskin of a prune, is coming out and saying that he's a traitor to their family, he's a traitor to the Democratic Party, and blah, blah, yada, 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 yada. The man himself has had enough with the woke bullshit, and he disavowed himself of the Democrat Party. And I completely understand it, and to a point, I'll follow him. I don't trust him further than I can think to throw him, because once a Dem, always a Dem. But well, whatever. That's what I have to say about that situation. But Caroline Kennedy Schlossberg. Oh, wait a minute. Caroline Kennedy. First was Caroline Kennedy, then she got this lady with the Schlossberg, and this and that, blah, blah. Now she's not Schlossberg anymore. Now she's Caroline Kennedy again. And every time she turns around, she gets more wrinkles in her face and whatever else. Calls our RFK Jr., her own cousin, in an unhinged video rant where she bombastically fries his ass with accusations of illegal drug use and activity in their youth with him and with their cousins and the family, this and that, and all of this activity, and leading other family members down the path to destruction, while she herself, in this unhinged rant, goes ahead and she admits to the fact that she saw all this happening. Well, Carolyn, you're so indignant about all this. You're so put off. You're so pious. Did you ever pick up the telephone and say, hey, you know what? There's illegal drug activity going on in this house. You know, there's things that are being done. There are things that are endangering the lives of youth. That's going on in my family. So we need the police to stop it. No. Did she do that? No. But now she is riding a different broomstick and turning around and saying, oh, what a terrible person he was. In the meantime, back then, she was apparently a willing participant or willing to go along with it, seeing it and doing nothing to put an end to it. But now suddenly she happens to be so pious. She happens to be above it all. She happens to be a person who finds these things repugnant. Suddenly, as the years go on and the wrinkles keep coming in, and how are they coming in? Kennedy herself glossing over the quirky little fact, by the way, of her grandfather, Joseph Kennedy, having been a rum runner, a robber baron, and the first chairman of the SEC during the Great Depression, where he got rich trading on insider information, running rum distilleries in Revere and Lynn, Massachusetts during the Prohibition era, and getting permission to import Haig and Haig pinch bottle scotch for medicinal purposes only. And then running around selling the liquor, the illegal liquor, to as the sole importer in the entire United States for Haig and Haig pinch bottle scotch during the Prohibition to his bootleg customers and telling them, for every case of Haig and Haig pinch bottle scotch you want to buy, 5 cases of my cheap rum that I'm brewing over here in Revere and Lynn and distilleries. Yeah, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. That's how their family got so rich. On the misery of others during the Great Depression. On the destruction of others during the time of Prohibition. Caroline acting or trying to act so pious, invoking her father and RFK's father's assassinations while dancing around mob connections, drowned pregnant girlfriends of uncles, and filthy Marilyn Monroe connections, didn't bat an eye toward that horrid family history. No. Caroline Kennedy Schlossberg, so pious, so above it all, and turns around, conveniently forgets all of that history. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know about you, but I don't trust those fuckers further than I can think to throw them. That's all I have to say about that situation, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know. If you got something, by the way, we got live call in. Pick up the phone. Call us. Tell me how you feel about this. 508-974-4231. Do not be afraid to do it. And I will take a call from anyone. Just here's the rules. You got to be nice. You can't be a slob about whatever else. And I'll be more than happy to hear what you have to say. 508-974-4231. In the meantime, we've got another video to come up. We got a video here. Can we see that video we've got of Caroline Kennedy Schlossberg?
I've known Bobby my whole life. We grew up together. It's no surprise that he keeps birds of prey as pets, because Bobby himself is a predator. He's always been charismatic, able to attract others through the strength of his personality, his willingness to take risks and break the rules. I watch his younger brothers and cousins follow him down the path of drug addiction. His basement, his garage, his dorm room were always the center of the action, where drugs were available, and he enjoyed showing off how he put baby chickens and mice in a blender to feed to his hawks. It was often a perverse scene of despair and violence. Bobby continues to grandstand off my father's assassination and that of his own father. It's incomprehensible to me that someone who is willing to exploit their own painful family tragedies for publicity would be put in charge of America's life and death situations.
What a sick, warped, depraved person she is to go ahead and start waving and flagging all of that around.
Ain't they all alcoholics?
I don't know. I don't know all of them. I met Ted Kennedy on 2 occasions, spoke to him on both times, and believe me, they were very short conversations, and that was on my decision, not his. But as far as I've never met Caroline Kennedy Schlossberg, I've never met RFK Jr. I never met JFK
accounted
Jr.,
for, honestly.
who unfortunately died in the air crash when he was playing back in the, oh God, it's got to be 20 something years ago now, more than that, when JFK Jr. died, unfortunately. But I don't know them, and you know what? They are who they are. But when she comes out and starts doing these things and trying to say these things about her cousin, simply because she and the rest of the family are over on the far left and trying to be the people for the people, even though they're sitting on top of billions of dollars in their fancy mansions and their compounds over in Massachusetts and all the rest of the blah 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 blah. No, 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 no. I'm calling that bullshit out. That is enough. You want to sit in your mansions? You want to go by the seaside? That's fine. But guess what, ladies and gentlemen? No, you can't turn around and point to the shit on the stick after they pulled it out of your own ass.
Hot damn, B. Holy. Woohoo.
I don't know.
Hey,
What do you
hey,
have to say
B.
about this, Mr. Blazeman? You live
B.
down there.
B, let me ask you a question, okay? Your audience, I'd like to ask a question if I could, please.
Go ahead,
Um, uh, I don't trust the guy. This is my opinion. I don't trust the guy,
please.
but I'm willing to see what he does, how he does it, because I'm not too worried about him fucking up everything because I know that Trump will fire his ass. You know what I mean? So that's where I am right now. And again, call us at 508-974-4231. The phone lines are open, man. And let us know and let Mr. B know what's going on. So, B, if you could address your audience to this, how do you feel about him?
That's exactly where I was going to get in. Thank you very much for asking, Blazeman. I do not trust this fellow further than I could think to throw him. Why? First and foremost, because he's a Kennedy, and they just can't be trusted. They can never be. I mean, look at all this thing that happened over. Remember, anybody remember Chappaquiddick Ted? What happened there? What about all the rest of the stuff that's gone on over there that got buried? What about all the Marilyn Monroe issues? That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget that stuff. Don't forget that stuff in a bit. John F. Kennedy, President John F. Kennedy, screwing around with Marilyn Monroe, and she winds up dead with a hot dose of whatever the hell it was, some kind of whatever junk it was, shoved up her ass. Do you really think that he didn't have something to do with it? That poor woman, Mary Jo Kopechne, drowned in an overturned car on Lake Chappaquiddick, and Ted Kennedy walking around with one of the little vital restraint collars around his neck or whatever else. And the less than 24 hours after the accident, the car is taken away and thrown in the crusher. The body has been disposed of. Up, 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 up. Oh, well, what a terrible accident. Nobody knows the wiser of whatever else is going on. What about all of the millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars? Ill-gotten gains from the patriarch of the family, Joseph Kennedy, trading on insider information, shorting stocks and so forth, when he was the chairman of the SEC. And the reason why Franklin Delano Roosevelt appointed him the first chairman of the SEC is because he didn't trust Kennedy further than he could think to throw him, and he wanted to put him someplace where he could keep a real close eye and a short leash on him. So he went ahead and did that, and he let Joe Kennedy go ahead and play around with his insider trading and make his money, whatever else, as long as he kept Joseph Kennedy out of other things. Because he knew, FDR knew Kennedy had mob ties. He knew he had mob ties. And he knew about this stuff having to do with the importing business of Haig and Haig pinch bottle scotch. And he knew about what was going on being a rum runner with his cheap distilleries over in Revere and Lynn, Massachusetts that he was running. And he knew about all the other little things that were going on. Necessary evils, some could say that or whatever else, but knowing, and of course, all of that information is out there. Everybody knows what the hell is going on. And now she's trying to elevate herself above all when she herself admits that she was there, she saw, she knew what was going on with the drugs and the parties and all of the stuff that's causing the delinquency of young people and whatever, and did nothing to put an end to it, to halt it, to interrupt it. Show me otherwise. Show me the proof otherwise. 508-974-4231. Would love to hear from you folks. Give us a call. Let us know what you have to say about this situation. I bad enough. Our government is squandering money left and right, up one side and down the other, and it is broken. It is broken. It is horribly, heinously broken. This man has a Syrian. He has a hunger to help the country get to the meat of things, take the broken machine and fix it, or get it at least working more efficiently so that it's not crushing each and every tax-paying American. How? Well, let's look at some of the things that are going on with the Medicare, Medicaid, and so whatever else. Well, number one, when the past administration was taking and sponging off of Medicare funds and so forth, taking money out of that, taking money out of Social Security as well to fund other things. Amazing. Absolutely amazing to think that our country has been going through all of this and we're losing so much money. Is RFK Jr. the man to do it? If Donald Trump has a belief that RFK Jr. can make a positive change and a positive difference, I will trust him. All right, we've got another video to bring it out to you folks. Mr. Blazeman, if you've got that in the queue, you can go right and do that. And once we get that in there.
So little notice. Why not give organizations more time to plan for the fact that they are about to lose, in some cases, really crucial federal funding, at least for a period of time.
There was notice. It was the executive order that the president signed. There's also a freeze on hiring, as you know, a regulatory freeze, and there's also a freeze on foreign aid. And this is, again, incredibly important to ensure that this administration is taking into consideration how hard the American people are working. And their tax dollars actually matter to this administration. You know, just during this pause, DOJ and OMB have actually found that there was $37 million that was about to go out the door to the World Health Organization, which is an organization, as you all know, that President Trump, with the swipe of his pen in that executive order, is no longer wants the United States to be a part of. So that wouldn't be in line with the president's agenda. DOJ and OMB also found that there was about to be 50 million taxpayer dollars that went out the door to fund condoms in Gaza. That is a preposterous waste of taxpayer money. So that's what this pause is focused on, being good stewards.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, since that video has come out, there has been a change, apparently.
50 million for condos?
No, not condos, condoms.
Condominiums?
A protective device for intercourse. That
No,
the skin that goes on your.
I thought that was an error on her part.
No, that was not an error on her. $50 million for condoms to go to Gaza for what? For what?
I don't know.
People who believe that the use of such a thing is a sin, according to, if I'm not mistaken, unless I'm mistaken, the people of the Muslim faith, condoms, the use of a condom is like a cardinal type sin. Why are we taking $50 million and sending,
Condoms to that they don't use, right? Because
well,
it's
here's the key.
because they don't
Guess
use
what?
them, right? I don't know.
It recently came out that they were using them somehow for whatever to make improvised explosive devices.
Oh yeah, help the wires stay dry and stuff, right? Yeah.
What
Yeah.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I haven't been able to get to the root of that,
Right.
to gain an understanding of exactly what that is. But we were going to take and spend $50 million to do what? To help these people create devices of mass destruction or destructive devices that will kill our allies. And you wonder why President Trump wants to stem the flow of monies going to crazy ass bullshit like this. And good evening, Ann Hardwick. I'm so glad Trump is in office. This waste needs to stop. Absolutely. Absolutely. And we genuinely appreciate what you have to say. And again, ladies and gentlemen, 508-974-4231. We want to hear from you. We'd love to hear what you have to say and what your opinion is about the subjects that we're talking about. Should we be spending $50 million to send condoms over to Gaza? I mean, do they have that big of a problem with syphilis and gonorrhea? I don't think so. I don't know. I have no idea. But one thing I will tell you is, if it wasn't stopped, there would be a hell of a problem going on with these Hamas people. I'm sure turning around and putting together more freaking bombs to kill soldiers with and kill other people with. We don't need to be funding terrorists with freaking Trojan natural lamb or whatever the hell it is that they have. Unbelievable. I hasten to think what other incredibly stupid waste there is that stopping all the flow of all of this shit would do, so that we could take and get control of our spending and hopefully save our republic from certain freaking bankruptcy and doom. And again, a crazy idea. How about helping our veterans? Oh, wow, yeah. Oh, what do we want to do that for? Help our veterans. Yeah, I know. Stop spending crazy ass stupid money like this. You want to solve problems. You want to solve homeless problems. You want to solve veterans affairs problems. You want to solve health problems, health insurance problems, costs for medicines and so forth. America first and Americans first. We must not go on being the world's police force, the world's hospital, the world's pharmacy, and everything else. Lord knows certain pharmaceuticals are finding their way across borders that finally are being closed down and shut down. And by the way, we'll be getting into that very, very soon. We're going to take a short break, about 3.5 minutes here. And when we come back, we'll get into that next subject matter, ladies and gentlemen. And I'd love to have you give me a phone call, 508-974-4231. We'll be gone for about 3.5 minutes or so. When we come back, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking about the rest of the stuff going on. I'm Mr. B, politicking with Mr. B. Thanks very much for tuning in. Stay tuned. I'll be back in a quick Thank you, thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, we are back politicking with Mr. B. This is the second part of our segment over here. We want to welcome in Roxanne Longstone. Thank you very much for coming in. And thank you for your comments. She says, people don't believe it. Well, you know what? There's an awful lot that's been going on for the last 4 years, 8 years, whatever years, whatever the things have been going on. They don't believe what's been happening. And I personally can't believe what has been going on with all of the people that are getting rounded up these days. And but before I go any further, we've got a video for you folks to have a look at. And
I
then
think we got the president live, ladies and gentlemen.
all right, let's go with that.
One moment, please. The auto workers of our nation for your inspiring vote of confidence. We did tremendously with their vote. I will immediately begin the overhaul of our trade system to protect American workers and families. Instead of taxing our citizens to enrich other countries, we will tariff and tax foreign countries to enrich our citizens. For this purpose, we are establishing the External Revenue Service to collect all tariffs, duties, and revenues. It will be massive amounts of money pouring into our treasury, coming from foreign sources. The American dream will soon be back and thriving like never before to restore competence and effectiveness to our federal government. My administration will establish the brand new Department of Government Efficiency.
Now, this is a president whose time has come a long time ago. This is what we need.
After years and years of illegal and unconstitutional federal efforts to restrict free expression, I will also sign an executive order to immediately stop all government censorship and bring back free speech to America. Never again will the immense power of the state be weaponized to persecute political opponents, something I know something about. We will not allow that to happen. It will not happen again. Under my leadership, we will restore fair, equal, and impartial justice under the constitutional rule of law.
Thank you, Almighty God, for the blessing of
And we are going to bring law and order back to our cities. This week, I will also end the government policy of trying to socially engineer race and gender into every aspect of public and private life.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
We will forge a society that is colorblind and merit-based.
Amen.
As of today, it will henceforth be the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female.
Yes! Ha ha!
This week, I will reinstate any service members who were unjustly expelled from our military for objecting to the COVID vaccine mandate with full back pay. And I will sign an order to stop our warriors from being subjected to radical political theories and social experiments while on duty. It's going to end immediately.
our armed forces will be freed to focus on their sole mission, defeating America's enemies.
Excellent. Excellent. All right, Mr. Blaze, can we break away from this for a little bit? We've got our video. I'd like to be able to get back into the show. Genuinely appreciate it.
Like
We've
in
got that video.
2017, we will again build the strongest military the world has ever
All right,
seen.
let's
We
give
will
this
measure
a
our
few more
success
minutes.
not only by the battles we win, but also by the wars that we end, and perhaps most importantly, the wars we never get into. My proudest legacy will be that of a peacemaker and unifier. That's what I want to be, a peacemaker and a unifier. I'm pleased to say that as of yesterday, one day before I assumed office, the hostages in the Middle East are coming back home to their families. Thank you. America will reclaim its rightful place as the greatest, most powerful, most respected nation on earth, inspiring the awe and admiration of the entire world. A short time from now, we are going to be changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, and we will restore the name.
Isn't that
of the
amazing?
great president, William McKinley.
Yes,
to
sir.
Mount McKinley, where it should be.
Ladies and
where it
gentlemen,
belongs.
give us a call. Tell us how you feel. 508-974-4231. Let's hear what you have to say about our president, Donald J.
President
Trump.
McKinley
Please, by all means,
made our
give us a
country
call.
very
We'd love to
rich
hear from you
through
about this.
tariffs and through talent. He was a natural businessman and gave Teddy Roosevelt the money for many of the great things he did, including the Panama Canal, which has foolishly been given to the country of Panama after the United States. The United States, I mean, think of this, spent more money than ever spent on a project before and lost 38,000 lives in the building of the Panama Canal. We have been treated very badly from this foolish gift that should have never been made, and Panama's promise to us has been broken. The purpose of our deal and the spirit of our treaty has been totally violated. American ships are being severely overcharged and not treated fairly in any way, shape, or form, and that includes the United States Navy. And above all, China is operating the Panama Canal, and we didn't give it to China, we gave it to Panama, and we're taking it back.
Wow. Wow. Stop the presses, ladies and gentlemen. Boy, this is big news.
Above all, my message to Americans today is that it is time for us to once again act with courage, vigor, and the vitality of history's greatest civilization. So as we liberate our nation, we will lead it to new heights of victory and success. We will not be deterred. Together we will end the chronic disease epidemic and keep our children safe, healthy, and disease-free. The United States will once again consider itself a growing nation, one that increases our wealth, expands our territory, builds our cities, raises our expectations, and carries our flag into new and beautiful horizons. And we will pursue our manifest destiny into the stars, launching American astronauts to plant the stars and stripes on the planet Mars.
Wow.
Ambition is the lifeblood of a great nation. And right now, our nation is more ambitious than any other. There's no nation like our nation. Americans are explorers, builders, innovators, entrepreneurs, and pioneers. The spirit of the frontier is written into our hearts. The call of the next great adventure resounds from within our souls. Our American ancestors turned a small group of colonies on the edge of a vast continent into a mighty republic of the most extraordinary citizens on earth. No one comes close. Americans pushed thousands of miles through a rugged land of untamed
All right, folks,
wilderness.
we've seen this. If you want to tune into that, we've still got a little bit of our show to come up with, Mr. Blazeman. We've got video number 3. If
B,
you've got
that was I'm sorry. Let me do this. B, that was some pretty powerful stuff right there.
that was incredible stuff.
Okay, I
That was
mean,
incredible. I want to go out and buy a newspaper tomorrow.
right, right, right. It makes you feel good because everything. You know, some of the critics that are out there now, they're just tearing them to pieces. You know, what are you going to try to do? Get everything done in 4 years and in a week or whatever? No, I think he is showing the people that had voted for him that he's going to do his best to keep the promises that he said
Oh,
that he would
absolutely,
do.
absolutely.
You know,
All right.
and of course, Trump being Trump, as always. I mean, you know, we all talked about it here on the show. We talked about it on the way we see it and your show, Politicking with Mr. B. It's like, you know, you're not going to stop the war in Ukraine in 24 hours. You know what I mean?
No, it's
You
not.
know,
That's not going to happen. But you know what? You can sure as hell pull the funding out.
mhm, you could, but who would that benefit? I mean, Russia's economy is got to be depleted, like seriously bad.
They're in an awful lot of trouble.
You
And by
know,
virtue of the fact that they're turning to the North Koreans to send in fighting troops, that should be telling you something. As large a country as quote unquote Mother Russia is, they have to turn to one of the smallest countries in the world that happens to share their ideology just to get fighting
I
troops.
think I think North Korea is a little bit more crazier, you know, as far as that ideology goes. You know,
Well,
um,
communism is communism, okay?
I mean, how many? I mean, we would never know, but how many of those troops that North Korea sent over tried to defect?
I'm guessing none. Kim Jong Un will not be sending over people that are going to defect.
Right? You
Knowing
don't think
him and
so?
knowing him as well as I believe I understand him, that would be the last thing that he would send. He would send some of the most diehard zealots
That's a
of
that's
their
a
ideology just to show the world that that they have a resolve.
yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Blaze Man. I am the engineer for Politicking with Mr. B, and here and there, I bounce in and I give my opinion. Who are we saying hello to?
I know it's found dead in Hollywood. It says,
That's
uh,
found
"Welcome and
dead
thank you very
in
much for tuning
Hollywood.
in."
Hey, found dead in Hollywood. All right, welcome in, welcome in. FD FDIHW. I just thought the abbreviations would have meant something as well. But you know, why don't you tell us where you're from, man? And thanks for watching us on Kicks. You know, I usually get dudes. We're on so many different platforms. B, do you mind? I mean, because
Go
I
right ahead,
feel,
please. Come on in,
uh,
ladies and gentlemen.
yeah,
This is the face. This is the man behind the curtain. The fellow
I
who has all
feel
the whizzies and gornats and kookabatsus and everything else. I'm not actually from Hollywood. I'm British, but just wanted to say hi. Well, wonderful. I'm so glad that you tuned in. Bully for you, sir.
Yeah.
Hip hip
but
chiro.
Anne had a good point. I was just reading something that she had wrote. Crazy idea. How about helping out better? She had put this up a few minutes back, right? And it's a crazy idea. How about helping our veterans? And I think that B, you had something to the effect where
Oh, absolutely.
it
Yeah.
wasn't about the veterans at the time, but now that I think of it, right, they just blocked $50 million to go to Gaza for condoms. Okay, uh, let's see how much $50 million could help out our veterans. You know what I mean? It's like, and to have Democrats or anything to that nature piss and moan that he's actually doing that. I mean, some of the states, okay. Um,
Let me get you to hold a point of information here. We have our newfound viewer who's asking, I was born in the United States but raised in England. What is this show about? This is called Politicking with Mr. B. We discuss matters of politics, be that here in the United States or even on the world scene, for that matter, when we find it appropriate. Uh, and we try to educate people. Sometimes people don't know or haven't heard about or whatever things that are going on, and we need to discuss them. Currently, we're talking about now, of course, what's going on with between Russia and the Ukraine and funding for them and so forth. Uh, we have a great number of things. Since you were born in the United States but raised in England, let me just say that I applaud what the King of England recently had done in dissolving Parliament and causing it to get, if you will, rebooted, so to speak. I believe he knows what he's doing. He's on exactly the right course, and I thank him
and the
very
right
much.
cause for what? I don't know too much about England's politics. If found dead in Hollywood would like to give us an idea. I mean, what exactly did the king do? B. What exactly did he do? For what party? For what did he do?
It wasn't for any particular party. He did it for the country.
And
He
what?
literally dissolved Parliament and ordered them to actually to go out and elect all new members, get an entirely new Parliament.
Okay, so in the equivalency to our Congress, B, right? For people that don't know how this works in England, okay? So Parliament is like the equivalency of our Congress, right?
A little bit different, but yes, in essence, pretty much the same.
I know it's different, B, in how they do things, but it's equivalent to our Congress,
Right,
okay?
right.
And now the people didn't vote this out, right? It was just the king that said, "Hey, I want to dissolve Parliament, okay, and I want everybody to, run again for Parliament seats." Correct?
Yeah, as
Now,
as the sovereign, he has
I
the
thought
ultimate right to do this.
Well, I see. I don't know. I don't. Does he? Does he have the right to do that? Let's
Yes.
see what Hollywood here has to say. I believe this
What is
is
the
him.
government
Yeah.
like in U.S.? We have the House of Commons and House of Lords.
Okay. All right. So, like, what the House of Commons is like a
Like we have the
Democrat,
Senate.
and
No,
the
we
House
have,
of Lords is like Republican.
no,
And
no,
you
no,
got
no,
it.
no, no. It's
I
like
don't
we
know.
have the House of Representatives and the Senate. They
Okay.
have the House of Lords and the House of Commons.
Okay.
They now
Understand.
they have different parties like we have. They have the Labor Party and this party and that party and whatever else, but which is like our Republicans and Democrats and Libertarians and whatever. But ultimately, the if I'm correct about this, ultimately the sovereign at this time, King Charles, turn around and say, you know what, I'm unhappy with what's going on. The the prime minister out. House of Commons, whatever it is, you're all out, dissolving all of you, and we're going to replace
Okay,
every last
so
one.
let's hear from the person who seems to know. House of Commons, our representatives, like B had said, and House of Lords are actual people with titles.
Oh,
Okay,
all right. So they would be people like Sir
oh,
this
that
and
kind of makes sense. All right, so where exactly are you going with this, B? Because the
king of much
king,
people of the House of Lords, House of Commons are
I
people
just
who do
read
the
it.
actual work. Okay.
Yeah. So, again, so I guess, does it matter politically if you agree with the king or not?
Ultimately, I believe what the king says is what the king does.
But that's my question. I thought uh, they're only allowed to like do so much.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
their job is basically to serve the people. Okay, their subjects, things to that nature. I don't think that they really have power to come out and to do something like that, right?
Yes, he's agreeing with the king is good because he has
Hold on,
mostly a
B. You got to put
ceremonial
it up.
role.
Right. So agreeing with the king is good because he has a what? Mostly
Ceremonial role.
ceremonial. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly. So, I mean, I don't know, agreeing with the king. I mean, that's what he mostly does is a ceremonial role. Let's see. What, go ahead. He,
This is, but he can't do actual power, and I understand. He can't turn around and say, "Guess what? I'm going to take and make everybody go to war." No, that he doesn't
no,
do.
right. And he can't say that. I mean,
Right.
that's up to the prime minister. But again, then how can he do this?
How is it like with your president? He asks. Well, when you have a right president who actually follows the documents that established our nation, the Constitution, the president is, if you will, the supreme authority. However, the president cannot do certain things. He has to have acts of Congress and the Senate, and there's the judicial branch, legislation, and so forth. So the president can do certain things only to a certain point, much like your king. And Congress can only do certain things to a point, and the Senate and the House of Representatives each are individual bodies that have to take they'll take a bill, they will vote on something, and if the House has it, then it goes over to the Senate, and they have to vote on it. And sometimes they have to take and make adjustments, amendments to it before they can agree on something. Now, what is this thing called executive orders? That is when the president uses his powers to issue an edict that, as long as it's upheld and isn't challenged in a court, becomes an order that something needs to be done immediately. And it's usually supposed to be for matters of emergent need. Frankly, I have been witness
So,
to a number of these things
right. And
over the years where
thanks
it's been
for,
overused.
right. Thanks for answering our questions, found dead in Hollywood. I'm just going to call you Hollywood, man, if you come back. We're on every Tuesday and every Wednesday night here in the United States. The show starts at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. That's New York time.
If you
Okay.
prefer to ring us, 508-974-4231 is the number if you'd like to call. We would
Yeah,
love
to get
to
some
have a phone call
differences.
from you.
Yeah, to get some differences. That'd be great. Uh, he wrote the Signs movie. If you know,
Signs movie. No, I'm not familiar with that.
he wrote the Signs movie. If you know that one, what were we talking about to bring that up?
And he says, "Yeah, my dad was a screenwriter."
Yeah, my dad was a screenwriter. He wrote the Signs movie. I know what that was. That with anyways, it was about aliens. I know that, and it was geez, I can't think of his name right now. Anyways, yeah, that was a decent movie. Born in Hollywood, which is
Ah,
how
that
I got
explains
my
that.
name. Gotcha. All right. Okay. All right. Now it all fits. Now it all fits. Mel Gibson. Jesus criminies. Mel Gibson.
Ah,
So
wow.
your dad wrote that movie, huh? Signs with Mel Gibson, and a Phoenix was in it too. I
Joaquin
can't.
Phoenix.
Yeah, Joaquin was in it. Yes, you are right.
Well,
Thanks, appreciate
we are
that.
coming up on our time, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a wonderful day. It's been a wonderful show. I want to thank the people who have written and participated. Ann Hartford, our usual. We've had this found dead in Hollywood person, and there was one other person. Unfortunately, the name quickly escapes me. I want to thank you very, very much. If you like this, share it. Share the thought of it. If you yourself have thoughts, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, that maybe you might like to have some podcast time, get a hold of us, FFN Network 9, FFN Network and the number 9 at gmail.com. Mr. Blazeman is the fella who is the magic behind it all, and you yourself could wind up on some FFN Network programming. All right. Next week, we're going to be coming back again on Tuesday night. We've got The Way We See It. Wednesday night, another episode. We hope you tune in. Again, if you like this, share this. Remember us. Come to see us. Check us out. And we will be back again. Politics with Mr. B. Thank you very, very much, everybody. And I'm out. I'm going to go put my head in a pillow and get some rest. I'll see you all again soon.
You have just watched an FFN Network production.